This is the HaltingWinter podcast. HaltingWinter is determined to help people and organizations operate at peak performance physically, mentally, and emotionally. We want to help you thrive in body, mind, and soul. My name is Seth Winterhalter, the host for today, and we're going to dive into our topic. In fact, this week, we're looking at 3 topics connected to body, mind, and soul. We're looking at the topics of desires, goals, and drive. These 3 things, again, aren't just connected to body, mind, and soul. They are connected to each other in light of how we get from where we are to where we want to be. Think about this with me. Desires are rooted to your emotions. Desires are birthed from what you feel. Your goals are then created in your mind to try to bring into reality those desires. It's how you strategize, how you plan. Drive, then, is lived out in your body. It is the physical actions taken to bring your desires and goals into being. You need drive. You need determination. You need all those things that will lead you to success, achievement. So desires, goals, and drive. Today's episode, I'm going to cover all 3 in a way that are kind of allow us to start to peek into how these things are connected and how we start to work them into our life, how we can help you think about your true deepest desires, why goals are then important, and what drive looks like in a daily basis. So let's dive in to the topic of desire. Plato, philosopher, is quoted as saying this: human behavior flows from 3 main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. If you check out the HaltingWinter blog yesterday, this is what I wrote on. On this, I looked at this quote and I said, it seems to be that Plato is saying emotions, what we desire to feel, right? Emotions are those things that we want to avoid: the feelings of negativity, the feelings of fear, the feelings of worry, anxiety. What we want to feel is happiness, comfort, safety, worth, value, etc. Things that make us feel good. So it seems that, again, human behavior, Plato says, flows from, first, these emotions, this desire to feel good. But desires then have to be articulated into real things. You have to ask yourself, what do I desire? What would make me feel good? Right? Every child desires to feel good. What makes them feel good? A pony. A pony would make me feel good. What do we say as adults? A relationship, a best friend, a spouse, a job with a title, and a good salary and a good benefits package. Like, all of a sudden, what makes us feel good becomes articulated in our desires. But then, Plato says, desire, emotion, and knowledge. So how does knowledge play into desire and emotions? Well, I would say that knowledge is the information that tells us how to act to achieve those desires and those feelings. I need knowledge to help me understand how to get the pony, right? So emotions and desires is step 1. It's the what. What do I want? What do I want to feel? And how can I articulate that into real things that I know will allow me to feel those emotions? Step number 2, knowledge, which I would say is goals. I need to plan. I need to strategize how to get those desires and feelings. It's the how. Drive and determination then is step 3. It's the why. Because I might have the knowledge to say I need to ask mom and dad for the pony, but if I don't continue to have drive and determination for that, I'm going to end up asking for something else. This is the bane. Maybe I'll just have a counseling moment with you. You can counsel me and empathize with me if this is you, if you have kids. I ask my kids every September, October to start thinking about Christmas, start thinking about what you want, and they'll start to tell me what they want. And maybe even write a list, right? October comes, here's the list. And so I'm looking, I'm strategizing, I'm creating, right, my game plan. And you know how many times that list changes? It's like they have no drive or determination. It's just whatever catches their attention is the thing they have to have now. That makes, again, for a planner, very difficult. So we have the same things, right? If you lack the drive towards something that you say is a goal and a desire, that actually might show that it's not really a true deep desire. Or it means that we live with just too many easy carnal pleasures to distract you. We give in to temporary feelings. And so this is part of the work too. I need to really think about, what are my desires? What are my deepest desires? What is it that I really truly want to feel? And how do I articulate that into desires, deep desires? And then how do I plan? How do I set goals, measurable goals, time-sensitive goals, things that just aren't vague and blurry, and I'll never really take any action to get them done. And then how do I have drive and determination? How do I start to bite that elephant, right, one bite at a time until it's done, it's accomplished? And then we have to ask ourselves, just because we have desires and we set goals and we start to live out the plan to execute those goals, that doesn't mean we're done. Then we have to really do the evaluation work. We have to ask ourselves, am I completing the small goals that are leading to the big goals? And if not, is that because those desires that I set goals for aren't really my desires? I wrote about this in the blog. Like, there's just a lot of external influences that can influence your desires. A lot of external things, such as family dynamics, friend dynamics, mentor dynamics, people in your life that will encourage you, will tell you, you have skills, you have talents in this area, you should do this. And then we end up thinking, well, that's what I should do, and that's what I'll pursue. But it may not be actually what you want. It may not align with your values, your deepest desires. Or maybe your deepest desire is to be in the NBA and you're 5 feet tall and you have no ability to dribble a basketball or shoot a basketball whatsoever. I don't know how your desire would line up with that if you have no ability whatsoever. And yet maybe it does. And that would just be a foolish desire. It'd be a desire to have to be a hobbyist and to go to your YMCA and play some pickup hoops and maybe get better. But that's not going to, and I don't think that's where, I have a really hard time thinking your desires could be that misaligned, because you wouldn't have any stimulation to that desire if you barely ever made baskets. If you ever, right? And so I do think that your desires will align with where you have success, with what you actually are gifted at and what you are talented at, because when you have success, that influences worth and value, and we all want to feel appreciated. We all want to get things done. We all want to be productive. I think that's what makes a purposeful human existence, is to actually produce and create. And so your desires should align with your abilities to some extent, but you also have to be careful, because you may just be on a different, it may be close in the field, but it may be just a different, you're too aligned to other people's desires for you instead of your own. And that's why we evaluate, to really go, are these my desires? Is my drive and determination in alignment to what I've set as goals? Maybe I need to reevaluate. I need to do some work to think, maybe that's not my chief desire. So, step one, desire. Some questions you can ask yourself. What do I desire? What do I desire deeply, passionately? What resounds within me? Why do I desire it? What do I believe it will make me feel? Is this true? Am I being honest about the totality of this desire's reality? What I mean by that is, you may have a desire to get married, but if you just desire the initial good things that come to your mind without thinking through of the other realities, the tangibles, the reality of having someone in your life that may put the toilet paper on upside down, and are you going to be able to live with that? They may squeeze the toothpaste from the wrong end of the tube. They may, a host of things. And again, maybe that's nothing. Maybe that should be nothing. And yet, you shouldn't go into a desire in just dreamland. You should try to flesh that out. Why? What am I missing something? Do I think that's going to complete me instead of really trying to work on myself and not put that on my spouse to complete me? Am I striving after that job because I think that money will complete me, but in fact, I don't really care about the house I live in or the car that I drive. I care more about this other thing. And what would that job even align and allow me to do those things? See, you have to do some work to really think through more than just the highlighted beacon light that's shining with that desire. You have to go, okay, wait a minute. Yes, that's a flashing component, and that's nice. I like that. But is it real? Is it what are the other elements that help me flesh out the desire so I can actually figure out if this is worthy to spend time on? And then you also have to prioritize, because you're not just going to have one desire in life. You're going to have desires with relationships. You're going to have desires vocationally. You're going to have desires with friends and family. You're going to have desires with hobbies, with all these elements in your life. And you have got to figure out how do these desires, how do I prioritize them? How do I list them out? And are they even compatible? If I want to go on vacations around the world, but I also want to live in a 5,000 square foot house, I might have to make some serious money to be able to afford both those things. Or I say, you know what? I'm going to live in a travel trailer because then that allows me to pick up and leave and go travel on vacations around the U.S., wherever, and it fits both the reality of the work I'm going to do, but also my vacation strategy, right? Do your desires align with each other? Are they in conflict? Because if they're in conflict, that'd be like putting a puzzle together with pieces, random pieces from different boxes. It would create a very disjointed picture. And we want to create, right, a fluid, beautiful picture of your life. And so to do that, we've got to ask, do these puzzle pieces fit the overall picture I'm painting for my life? How does my vocation and my family and my relationships and my vacation, my rest, my weekly rhythms, how do all these things align? And again, there's not going to be perfection there, but there does need to be harmony. Okay, desire. What do I desire? Why do I desire it? And am I being honest with the totality of that desire? Goals. Mario Andretti says this: desire is the key to motivation, but it's determination and commitment to an unrelenting pursuit of your goal, a commitment to excellence that will enable you to attain the success you seek. Let me say it again. Mario Andretti says this: desire is the key to motivation, but it's determination and commitment to an unrelenting pursuit of your goal. This commitment to excellence, this will enable you to attain the success you seek. Motivation is tied to drive and determination, and that's step 3. But there's a step inside of that. Again, Mario Andretti is saying determination and commitment has to be made to something before you get to drive and determination. What is that? It's drive and determination have to be poured out to an unrelenting pursuit of your goal. We have to connect our desires. I should say this: for our desires to be connected to determination or drive, they need a design, they need a strategy, they need goals. Tony Robbins says this: setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. Again, I would argue that setting goals is step 2. You need to know what's invisible. What's invisible is the dreams, the hopes, the desires. But once you know that which is, it's visible, but it's not tangible. Once we know that which is feelings, invisible, now it's brought into a picture, but that picture is still a dream. It's still a hope. Now, before we start to have drive and determination, we need the plan, the strategy that's going to actually allow us to bring that from dream into reality. We need to flesh that out. We need goals that have scope, timelines, they have measurables, they have tangible realities. Pablo Picasso, famous artist, says, our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan. in which we must fervently believe and upon which we must vigorously act. There is no other route to success. Our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan. We need a plan. A goal can't just be vague. It can't be, I want to make $1 million. Okay, that's a goal, but it is such a general goal that it needs a plan. It needs smaller goals to then get you to that goal. And so that's what a plan is. A plan is the framework, is the lattice of goals that's going to build to the big one. And these goals have to be able to be, like, if your goal is I want to make $1 million, well, how do you believe in that? How do you act vigorously upon that, right? He says the vehicle of a plan must be fervently believed. It must be vigorously acted upon. This is the route to success. So goals are a set of markers. They're the plan and the map to reach those markers. So I would ask you, once you've done the work to figure out your desires, now you start to think about your goals. And you ask yourself, with these goals, are they believable? Now, they should be daunting, right? The biggest goals you set that then you break down into smaller goals, those big goals should be daunting. They should be a little scary. They should make you take some risks, get you out of your comfort zone. Because, again, the whole process of this, of desires and goals and drive, is to really change you and transform you. It's to make you a better person. It's to stretch you and make you better so you can accomplish bigger. And bigger meaning that which you didn't think is possible. I mean, that's really, I think, the joy of human existence, is growth, is evolving into something better. So those goals should be daunting. They should make you take risks, but then they should be broken down into bite-sized pieces, things that you can tackle in a day, things that you can tackle in a week. And here they won't look as daunting. That's the difference, right? Big goals should be daunting. Smaller goals that lead to those big goals should just look like hard work. Daunting, hard work. Daunting, hard work. Broken down goals, then, will tell you how to act. Big goals are the goals that we need the fortitude to believe. But the small goals that lead to those big goals are the goals that tell us how to act on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, perhaps, if they're big enough. But I really would encourage you, if your goals can't be broken down to the day and the week, they're still too big. You need to know how to act today. You need to know what to put on your schedule today that's bringing those goals into fruition. So, desires. What are your deepest desires? Once you do that work, now how do you set goals, measurable goals, timeline-specific goals, daily, weekly goals that will lead you to achieve those, to bring those desires into reality? And then third then is drive. This is, again, how our physical reality manifests itself to create success in those goals. Andrew Carnegie says this: if you want to be happy, set a goal that commands your thoughts, liberates your energy, and inspires your hopes. If you want to be happy, who doesn't want to be happy? I think we all want to be happy. If you want to be happy, set a goal. He doesn't stop there, though. Don't just set a goal, because you can set a goal. You can do all the work of desires and goal setting and still be very unfulfilled. In fact, you may be listening to this. There will be many people who are listening to this who that's where you're at. You look at your life and go, I have all these desires and I've done the work of goal setting and I still haven't accomplished anything. It's because you haven't done the third step. So listen closely here. If you want to be happy, set a goal that commands your thoughts, liberates your energies, and inspires your hopes. Let's break that down. To be happy, to feel, to have an emotional response, is to step one, create a desire. Discover what would make you happy, not anyone else, you. What would make you happy? And then set a goal. Create a plan of action that you believe in that allows you to take daily measurable action toward it. Step 2. And now step 3. Drive. Think about this desire. Meditate on your goals and plans. You need to keep these things front and center. And what does he say? 3 things. Your deepest desire should command your thoughts. Once you have those goals, you're not done. In fact, now you begin the actual work. You have to every day think intentionally. That's why it's so important, I think, to write down your goals. And one of the first things you do in the morning is you look at those. You look at the desires. You look at what you want. You look at how you're going to get it, those goals. And you think about why. That's where drive is, determination. Why do I want that? Because I want to experience that. Because I know that will make me happy. That will give me pleasure. That will ignite me into getting things done today. So we need it to command our thoughts. And remember, you live in a world of distractions. Remember what we said would capsize the work to get our deepest desires? All these other I call them false, fleeting, temporary distractions, these false desires, these things that we go, oh man, I'm tired. I need to come home from work and work on my side hobby to make that my main thing, right? I got this side thing project I'm working on, but I'm so tired, and so I'm just going to veg out Netflix tonight. You cave to a weaker desire. And that desire is not going to fulfill you. Binging Netflix isn't going to lead towards your deepest desires. That's not going to build you the life that you want. It's not going to lead to any of those things that you know would truly make you happy. It's giving into a temporary happiness, which I would ask, is it really giving you what you want? We need to think. You need to keep those desires and goals in front of you. They should command your thoughts, especially for us who live in a world of distractions. Your deepest desires should free you and focus you. They should free and focus your energy. Your energy, right? You only have so much energy in a day. And so your energy should be freed and focused towards those things. So this is what it does. When you write out, when you really capture your deepest desires, and then you set goals, measurable goals, not just big goals, but small goals that you can attack on a daily basis, you are helping yourself say no to things and yes to things. See, if you keep those goals, and if you keep that the activity, those small goals tell you what to do. Today I need to do right. Today I need to record this podcast because I need to edit it, and then I need to post it tomorrow. So that's my goal. My small goal is this has to get done. And I'm going to say no then to other things that go, I have a list of things. Before I started recording this, I have a list of other things that I need to do. Things that some of them I want to do and some of them I don't want to do. I just need to do them. And yet I'm doing this first because this is leading towards the big goal. This is leading towards my deepest desire. This is leading towards the things that are most important to me. So I'm going to say no to those other things. So having goals and putting them in front of you helps you say no to things that aren't going to lead to your deepest desires. And they help you say yes to things that are. So we need to do this work so that we're free to focus our energy on where it matters most. Third, your deepest desire should inspire your hopes. They should make you live intentionally today while smiling about your tomorrow. I am living intentionally today, inspired by this content. It's making me think. It's making me think about my deepest desires. What is my deepest desires? And are my goals in line with that? Am I bringing into fruition that which is deeply important to me? And am I being driven? Am I living with persistency and consistency and diligence in bringing those goals and tackling those goals and working towards those goals? Am I keeping them intentionally in front of me? Am I enjoying this process, enjoying this moment? Am I living with intentionality today while I'm thinking about this is another step towards my tomorrow? And I'm excited. I'm smiling because I know it is. I'm doing what's most important because what's most important is leading towards my deepest desires to help you, to encourage you, to get you to think about your deepest desires. So let's wrap up for the day. Here's the application. With desire, with goals, and with drive. I would encourage you to take 30 minutes tonight, today, whenever, in the next 24 hours. Take 30 minutes, grab a pen and paper. Do not have your phone with you because, again, your phone is a means to distract you. Just pen and paper and just start to brainstorm all over that page. What do you think your deepest desires are? What do you think they are, and why? Why do you think those are your deepest desires? What do you think those desires will make you feel, and why do you think they'll make you feel that? Do some work. Just, again, brainstorm that out. Deepest desires. Now, after you're done with that, take that hot mess of a page and look at it and try to prioritize them. Out of those things you said were your deepest desires, what stands out to you is most important? That's the one thing I want to pursue. Is it a work thing? Is it a relationship thing? Is it a rest and refreshment thing? And again, this is going to be different for everyone because we're all in these different seasons. So man, if you've got a good job and you're just tired, you're burnt out, maybe your deepest desire is going to be rest, is refreshment, is rejuvenation. I need this. Maybe a relationship in your life is non-existent or frayed, and you go, man, I need to focus on that. My deepest desire is to make that thing healthy, or is to have that in my life. I don't have a best friend. I don't have a confidant. I don't have a spouse. And I feel like that's a missing component that now in this season of my life, I want to start putting intentionality towards finding that person to enjoy this life with. Whatever it is, what's your priority? Because you can't make, if on that page, let's say you have 4 or 5 deepest desires. You're like, man, this is what I want my life. If these things would bring harmony and enjoyment to all these different facets of my life, these are the things I want to start really working on and bringing into existence. Then, but you can't make all those things the number one priority. It's not going to work. And do they work in harmony together? How do they fit together? How might they overlap a little bit? And once you kind of do some work there, right? You're trying to prioritize and organize that kind of hot mess of deepest desires. And once you get that list, 1, 2, 3, then you start to set some goals. Then you start to make a plan. And this I would encourage you to do over the next week. Because again, take 30 minutes and with pen and paper, think through your deepest desires and then start to prioritize them. And then that's all I want you to do. Just take 30 minutes, take however long you want, but take 30 minutes, schedule 30 minutes for yourself, and just do the first 2 exercises. Just think about your deepest desires and then try to start a prioritized list. What do you think is most important out of those lists? And then over the next week, start to think about goals and plans. Because you may change. You may go, you know what, I thought about it, and I think I'm going to change number 3 to number 2. I'm going to put that. That's more important, actually, the more I think about it. Do some work to think. And then start to think a plan. How would I find a spouse? How would I what does my marriage need for it to be more healthy and more vibrant? What are the things I can do? What are the goals? What are the aims, right? You start to chew on these various elements. You start to set some goals. You start to set some big goals. You start to break that down into bite-sized chunks, some daily, some weekly goals. And then step 4, you take some action. Now it's start to actually do some work. Let's do it. And so you take 30 minutes, you do some work. You take a week and you do some more work with setting goals and making a plan. And then let's start to bite. Let's start to chew. But you're not done. Then after a week, 2 weeks, you've started to take some action on that prioritized list of desires. Now you're going to evaluate and you're going to ask yourself, how's my drive and my determination towards these goals and desires? If you find that it's lacking, ask yourself, what's distracting me? Are these distractions, A, revealing a weakness for temporary distractions? And what do I need to do to cut out those things? Right? Maybe I need to get rid of my Netflix account because it's just too much of a distraction. I told myself I wanted to start this side hobby because I think this side hobby could be my main thing, But when I come home, it's just too easy to get into my rhythms, to sit down on the couch and to eat my nachos and to binge watch whatever's popular on Netflix. And man, I just can't get out of that rhythm. Okay, well, let's break it. Let's figure out how to break it. Or man, I just, I want to work on my marriage. I want to work on my friendships, but I get some excuses. It just frustrates me. So I just give up. Okay, well, how can we create some better drive? How can we think creatively to determine, to make some better motivations and some inspirations? And maybe you can't do it the way you're envisioning. Maybe you can't get your 5 best friends together. Maybe you just need to start with 1, right? There's some things you got to kind of think through and you got to work through. You got to evaluate. And maybe it's not a weakness. Maybe it's not a distraction. Maybe it's actually revealing to you that it's just not that big of a deepest desire. Maybe it's not really your desire. It's more of an external desire from someone else. You're like, man, well, I'm 30, I'm 35, and I feel like I think I'd want to get married. But man, the more I think about it, I don't know. Maybe that's not important to me. But I just feel this external pressure that I'm getting older, and people keep asking me about it, and I'm just getting tired of that asking. Well, if it's not a deepest desire for you, then don't do it. Right? Don't live out of the external pressures of others. That's I know that is a bad way to live life. That will not go well for you at all. And it will not go well for the other people that are touched by, influenced, and connected to you in that state of being. You want to get to know yourself. You want to know what your deepest desires are. And that's why the evaluation process is good, because you need to constantly evaluate and go, man, am I really connected to my rooted self? Or am I connected to something else? Or have I changed, right? Sometimes we have goals, these big, audacious goals that are 1, 2, 3 year long goals. And during that process, we change. And it's like, man, that goal doesn't actually align to who I am now. Okay. Update. Change the plan. Change the goal. That's okay. You're not a failure. Right? Oh no! Well, if I went to school and I spent 2 years in school and now I have debt and it's okay. It's just money. You can make money. You can change. You're not a failure. You're human. And humans change. They evolve. They adapt. They get to know themselves, and we need all those experiences to help that. So don't allow old goals to shape new realities. Don't allow who you were to now shape in a bad way who you're becoming. Allow your past to influence your future in a healthy way so that you can find freedom and find that which is truly important to you. If I can be a help to you, a sounding board, someone to help clarify desires and goals, maybe just to simply be an agent of support to help you remain driven and determined to reach your goals and to turn those desires and dreams into realities, man, please reach out to me. Reach out to me on social media. All those links are going to be in the show notes. Reach out to me through the HaltingWinter website. We do personal coaching. We do corporate consulting, speaking. Again, our aim is to make people and organizations operate at peak performance. And peak performance, I believe, is rooted to body, mind, and soul. It's rooted to your deepest desires. It's rooted to taking those desires and creating a goal and a plan and a system and a structure to make those things, those deepest desires, into realities. But to do that, we need drive and determination, because you don't just live in the netherland of big goals and dreams. You live in the daily, weekly reality of real life. And that's where we need that drive. We need that determination to take bite-sized bites out of the elephant until one day it's gone. Until one day that dream is no longer a dream. It's our life. So dream and take the actions necessary to turn those desires into your lived out destiny. Thanks for joining us.